When one hears the name Timbuktu, know that it was a real city unlike any other. During the medieval ages, it enticed people from around the world to partake in its riches of commerce, philosophy, and learning. Timbuktu owes its remarkable medieval renaissance to the patronage of a man widely believed to be the richest person in history, Mansa Musa. His wealth was so great, many say it is nearly impossible to be estimated, though even names like Warren Buffett do not come close. Talk about the powerful bond between Mansa Musa and Timbuktu survives today in lecture halls and social media as more people world over learn of this fascinating history. Remarkably, these stories were not actively discussed for centuries. The site of Timbuktu was first occupied in the 5th century BCE. It is located on the southern edge of the Sahara Desert in West Africa. Its modern-day origins began as Tuareg herdsmen established this location as a seasonal trading post around 1100 AD. Fortunately, Timbuktu survives to this day in Mali, West Africa. Why was this great Middle Ages city and world's richest person, Mansa Musa, ignored for so long? Today, a growing number of people around the world are seeking the vital knowledge behind both city and man. Hello everyone, my name is Craig, host of Medieval to Modern. We feature fascinating information from civilization's medieval ages in an interesting yet compact manner. After presenting another captivating episode of history, we will reveal the Medieval to Modern Top 8 of intriguing facts about Mansa Musa and the city of Timbuktu. Thank you for joining us today. Even in modern society, many people consider Timbuktu a legendary, faraway place that had no basis in reality. That is completely untrue. In fact, during the medieval period, the richest person in history recreated the city into a world-famous destination. This one person, Mansa Musa, has a history that equals the incredible riches he used to create the golden age of Timbuktu. It was a dramatic revolt against the Soso king, which began a great world empire. When the mighty Sumenguru Kante lost the Battle of Karina in 1235 AD to Sundiata Keita, the powerful Mali Empire was born. Soon after this major victory, Sundiata Keita continued his conquest of other territories throughout West Africa. He eventually seized control of the former Ghana Empire capital in 1240 AD. Around the year 1312, as the Mali Empire grew and prospered, then ruler Mansa Abubakari II had an obsession with crossing the Atlantic Ocean to seek new territory. Following a first mission, he personally led a second expedition of 2,000 ships to follow through on his visions of westward expansion. He left Mansa Musa in charge as leader while he was on this voyage. Unfortunately, the king and his expedition were never heard from again. Therefore, since he was appointed leader while the king was away, Mansa Musa became the new Mansa, or king, of the Mali Empire, assuming the throne at Niani. So, who was Mansa Musa? Mansa Musa was the great-nephew of Sundiata Keita, founder of the Mali Empire. He was born around 1280 AD. It is important to note the Mali Empire dominated the salt trade during its golden age, and whoever controlled the salt trade also controlled the gold trade. Why is this a crucial point? Well, it was gold which would later make Mansa Musa riches beyond compare. With the tragic expedition of his predecessor in 1312, Mansa Musa came to power. At that time, the Mali Empire consisted to a large extent of the former Ghana Empire. Under his rule, Mansa Musa expanded its territory while seeking greater ties with the Muslim world for ideas on administrating his growing domain. Mansa Musa believed in the power of knowledge for creating prosperity. While Europe was in the throes of wars, plague, and famine, African empires in the Islamic world were growing kingdoms of knowledge, culture, architecture, and scholarship. At the same time, Mansa Musa seen opportunities for expansion. Knowing the strategic importance of trade routes between the Mediterranean Sea and coast of West Africa, he set about consolidating administrative control and growing the Mali Empire. Mansa Musa, also known as King Musa Keita I, possessed an empire which had a wealth of natural resources. King Musa Keita I was known as the glorious King of Kings in the Mali Empire, a title which matched his great wealth. These riches allowed him a lifestyle which no other person could equal. This fact was proven by his famous pilgrimage to Mecca. During the year 1324, Mansa Musa, a Muslim, embarked on a year-long Hajj or pilgrimage to Mecca. Though his entourage was unlike any other before or since, Mansa Musa's caravan included 100 elephants, 80 gold-carrying camels, and many horse riders, while he observed everything from his gold throne. In total, approximately 60,000 people were involved with this 4,000-mile journey. Hundreds of heralds were dressed in expensive silk and holding gold staffs. Many of the 8,000 soldiers, 12,000 servants, and courtiers of the king were also adorned in gold. To nourish the caravan, hundreds of other camels were loaded down with foodstuffs. During During this famous journey, the generosity of Mansa Musa was also without equal. He gave out gold bars and helped in the construction of mosques while on this pilgrimage route. Some accounts said the procession took over a day to pass. Though Mansa Musa's generosity would not stop at these legendary actions, for while he was on the way to Mecca, he passed through a city where salt was traded for iron, copper, cereal, and gold dust. He noted the potential of this city, forming a quiet vision within his mind. After returning from his great pilgrimage, Mansa Musa absorbed Timbuktu into the Mali Empire. He then began transforming the city into its golden age. Timbuktu was flourishing at that time, so it was a treasured prize for Mansa Musa. As the recipient of his new building programs and aided by architects from Andalusia and Cairo, Timbuktu would develop into a world-class destination. Mansa Musa's adoration for Timbuktu can be seen with one of his great building projects. He commissioned a grand royal palace, or Medugu, to be built in Timbuktu to go along with the one he already owned in the capital of Niani. In his eyes, Timbuktu would be vital to his vibrant empire. Islam came to Timbuktu from Tuareg traders, forging a link between West African people and Arab Islamic people. The Tuaregs also established scholarly links there as well. Being a devout Muslim with a keen interest in knowledge, the king truly appreciated this scholarly hotbed of Timbuktu. The University of Sankora had its origins in the Sankora Mosque, which was built in 988 AD. Under Mansa Musa, this medieval mosque university was rejuvenated with new scholars, astronomers, mathematicians, and jurists. It grew to possess the largest library in Africa since the Library of Alexandria in Egypt. Mansa Musa created a university which attracted knowledge seekers from across the Islamic world. As a result, Timbuktu's status as a superior educational destination and leading city in the Islamic world was firmly established. It is important to note that African civilizations had a great valuable history in literature and the arts centuries before Arabic and European influences, though Mansa Musa envisioned a transformation in Timbuktu which employed the highest quality scholars and educators of Islam. Not only were they very accomplished, but learned in a number of disciplines. These kinds of visionary city building were done by many great civilizations before and since the Mali Empire's existence. On the topic of libraries, the one in Timbuktu included books of rare sacred-bound texts. In this city, great manuscripts on subjects which included science, astronomy, and mathematics were written. Knowledge books were traded, and the city's culture grew to great heights. Mansa Musa built the Great Gingerbread Mosque and created various other mosques and public buildings throughout the city. Timbuktu became a major center for trade and culture. During this medieval period, the most advanced nations in the world were Islamic. In Timbuktu, scholars from across the world came to learn law, astronomy, science, and exchange ideas. King Musa Kaita I built a scholarly inheritance which thrived during his rule and lasts to this very day through libraries and mosques. Under his leadership, which ended upon his death around 1337, the Mali Empire became one of the most influential and successful in medieval history. At its height in the 14th century, it is said only the Mongol Empire was larger than the Mali Empire in terms of population. The great wealth of Mansa Musa and Timbuktu became news around the world in maps, atlases, and spoken accounts. This gained huge attention, particularly in Europe. Mansa Musa made Timbuktu one of the world's most prestigious cities of his time. So, why was such an illustrious legacy hidden for so long and still intentionally neglected in some historical accounts? Colonialism and the Atlantic slave trade, whose consequences are still felt to this day, played a major role in keeping this knowledge from mainstream society. The reality of an African city and culture at the height of world achievement in scholarship, wealth, and influence dramatically refutes a solely Eurocentric view of past history. Proof of the Mali Empire's great status and envied riches was its inclusion on a 1375 Catalan atlas, a must for medieval explorers. The king is depicted holding a scepter of office in a large nugget of gold. In addition, southern European places like Venice added Timbuktu to their destinations to trade merchandise for gold. Mansa Musa was praised by explorers like Ibn Battuta for his generosity, virtue, and intelligence. Certainly, his philanthropy and intellectual projects matched his gigantic fortune, making Mansa Musa worthy of greater recognition. His net worth, with access to vast quantities of gold and adjusted for inflation, would be currently estimated at approximately $400 billion US. Which brings us to that time at which we will share the medieval to modern top 8 of intriguing facts about Mansa Musa in the city of Timbuktu. As our viewers know, we believe knowledge is ageless as well as enjoyable. Now, we shall present them all for your learning pleasure. Number 1. Timbuktu was designated a UNESCO World Heritage Site in 1988. Number 2. In a 2006 survey conducted with 150 young Britons, a surprising 34% did not believe Timbuktu existed, and the remaining 66% considered it a mythical place. Number 3. During Mansa Musa's rule, the Mali Empire more than tripled in size. He conquered 24 cities in his lifetime. Number 4. In 2012, due to armed conflict in the area, Timbuktu was placed on the UNESCO list of World Heritage in danger. Number 5. Mansa Musa is the only person in history to have complete control over the price of gold in the Mediterranean cities he visited during his great pilgrimage. Number 6. Under Mansa Musa, it is estimated that the Mali Empire had over 400 cities. Through establishing high levels of education and great architecture, he created the foundation for modern urban civilization in cities like Timbuktu. Number 7. Mansa is a Mandinka word which is similar to ruler, king, or emperor. Therefore, Mansa Musa is similar to King Musa or Emperor Musa. Number 8. During his famous pilgrimage, Mansa Musa gifted and spent so much gold that its overall value decreased in Egypt for the next 12 years. Thank you for supporting us at Medieval to Modern. Please be sure to watch our next weekly episode or one shown at the end of this video. Also, be sure to like, subscribe, comment, and spread the word about this channel so we can create more exciting content. I wish you good tidings, as we remember that sharing knowledge has been a noble deed throughout the ages.